First up is a new series on Apple TV+. It is called Murderbot, and it is based on the book series by Martha Wells. And if you know me in real life and have ever talked to me about books, you know I'm obsessed with these. I read them all in the pandemic. They're all pretty short. They're very funny. They are particularly dry. I absolutely love them. They center around a security robot, or sec unit, who has hacked their governor module, which is their overriding code, and has named themselves internally Murderbot. And so these sec units are basically hired out mercenaries. They're a combination of mechanical and synthetic and organic parts, but they are not humans, even though they have a humanoid face under their masks. And so it is about this sec unit who essentially has free will, unlike other ones, and their interactions with this group of scientists they've been assigned to protect. I was nervous when I found out that they were making this into a series, but cautiously optimistic. And the casting of Alexander Skarsgård as sec unit / Murderbot was brilliant, because I actually think he's a very good comedian and can be a very good physical comedian. And it's an absolute deadpan. This character is not a human. And so I think the ability to convey humor, but not utilizing human techniques in order to achieve that, is a very fine line. And I think he does such a great job. Some of the other folks in the cast you might recognize are David Dastmalchian, Sabrina Wu. It's a big ensemble. And Paul and Chris Weitz are the adapters, writers, producers, and directors of this, which I didn't actually realize until after I'd watched the series, but I was like, okay, you guys did a great job. If you are a fan of the books, like me, I think this honors the tone and the idea behind the original. This is an adaptation, this first season is of the novella All Systems Red, so again, just speaking to the book readers here, but I think you will deeply appreciate what they have done with this. If you have no idea what this series is, and you like sci-fi, if you like comedy, if you are just open to the idea of this, I really enjoyed the series. They are breezy episodes. They average around 20 minutes. I blazed right through it. Also, credit where credit is due. This series clearly had a budget because there are practical sets. It feels like actual alien landscapes and technology and all this stuff. So they put a lot of thought and care into the adaptation of this. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It is out, starting to stream now on Apple TV+. Please check it out. The other thing I have this week is another series. It is on Prime Video, and it's called Overcompensating. This one comes from Benito Skinner, or Benny Drama, as he is known online. I was not familiar with him before, so unlike Murderbot, where I was like, I know the ins and outs of this, I had seen him, I think, in episodes of Queer as Folk, but I am not familiar with his online persona. I don't know anything about him. I just thought that this looked like an interesting series, and turns out it is. It is a mix, I would say, of comedy and drama. It's set at a college campus, and it centers on two freshmen, one of them played by Benito Skinner, the other one played by Wally Barham, and the major conceit behind this, not a spoiler, it is all over the trailers, etc., is that Benito Skinner is in the closet, and he's reckoning with his sexuality and being in a new environment, and, whether or not he should come out, whether or not he's reckoning with whether or not he actually is gay and grappling with, experimentation and all that sort of stuff, which was an interesting thing, and maybe, I feel, I guess, lucky in that I was in pretty safe environments and went to school with a lot of people who, there was a joke where it was gay by May, where if you didn't come out by May of your freshman year, you weren't gay. People felt comfortable enough to immediately come out upon entering into the college sphere. But I also acknowledge that, I know that's not everyone's situation. I wish it was everyone's situation, that they felt safe in order to even come out before you go to college. So it was interesting to view this in 2025. It felt like I think I had to check my, bubble biases here and be like, oh yeah, this is things that people are still grappling with in this year. And I think actually, ironically, more so in 2025 than maybe they were in early 2024, sign of the times. But I think what this show does a really great job of is, even though these are basically 30-year-olds playing 19-year-olds or 18-year-olds, I think they capture the kind of youthful optimism and stress that you experience as a young person entering into that stage, the next stage of your life out of high school, in a really vulnerable way that doesn't come across. I feel like this could have been such a disaster if the casting had been wrong. And, you're like, these are fully grown adults playing children, basically, and these folks are able to convey the plethora of feelings. And it's absurd. The comedy is definitely there. I also have to give a shout out to an actress, I guess, who just goes by Holmes, who plays Haley, the roommate of Wally Barham's character. She's just the most absurd. There's some very absurd things that happen in this, but I think there is so much heart and it is balanced in a really mature way. Also, the fact that these characters are super imperfect, I think is something that we do not actually get to see enough of on screen. I feel like college often gets idealized, or just any storytelling, right? There's a level of kind of filmy gauze that you want to see protagonists and people you invest in who are, they can't be repulsive to you. But I think they find a way to make these characters really human and to make mistakes in ways that humans make mistakes and still keep them grounded, and you find them relatable, or perhaps you even find them more relatable because they are behaving in a way that we all can be guilty of sometimes, maybe a more hyperbolic representation of some of those behaviors, but still, they are very, very human, real feeling characters. And it is balanced in such a mature way that I blazed right through the series. I laughed, I felt for the characters. It's absolutely worth a watch. It's also a quick, breezy watch. All the episodes are on Prime Video now.